Oh, we're going to learn a lot because the Panthers, what they do, they run the football. They're a physical team. They play good defense. That Dallas offensive line, with the injuries that they have, how good are they now? We know when they're healthy, one of the best, arguably the best offensive line. But how good are they now in trying to move forward? Travis Frederick not going to be playing. Zach Martin banged up. Tyron Smith, left tackle, they say he's been healthier than he's been the last couple years. I expect their tailback, Ezekiel Elliott, to have a spectacular year. But on the outside, I need Allen Hurns. Y'all can talk about the tight ends, talk about slot receivers, talk about everything. They need Allen Hurns to be a dependable guy. That means they need to be able to target him 8 to 10 times a game. So he's going to have to come up with 5 to 8 catches a game. And I believe he is their 1,000-yard receiver. If he becomes that X receiver that's dependable, then the tight end, it's not as important. Cole Beasley's going to do his thing in the slot. He's one of the best slot receivers that we have in the league. But you need a wideout outside the numbers who can be dependable. And I think Allen Hurns is more of the answer to the question compared to being part of the problem that we've talked about with the lack of explosive players.
And the Panthers are one of the only teams in the league, one of the only good teams in the league this year that week 1, starting a rookie corner. Dante Jackson, second-round pick. Go get it, young fella. They started a couple rookie corners a few years ago after they replaced Josh Norman. They traded one of them away, Daryl Worley, this offseason. Second-round pick, Dante Jackson. Go play. So the one, I would say, the weakest spot on the Panthers team is their secondary. You know how hard they are to run on. I know that they lost Starlo Tulele, but they brought in Dontari Poe. They still have Kawan Short. Those Luke Kuechly's there, even with Thomas Davis on suspension. That is a brutally difficult team to run on. Also, difficult team to throw those short passes to. We don't even know who the Cowboys tight end is going to be, but whoever it is not going to be able to get away from Kuechly or Shaq Thompson, whomever it is. It's going to have to be up the field. What we think the Cowboys will struggle the most with, that is where the Panthers can get got. So let's see it. Like, this is a huge Dak game. Zeke can win you a half dozen games this year with his brilliance. Against this team, he cannot do it by himself. You have to have a potent vertical attack to beat the Carolina Panthers. Who could the Panthers not beat last year? They were really good last year. They went 0-3 against one team, the New Orleans Saints. How did the Saints beat them? Great vertical passing game to go along with their great running back. So that's the path to victory against Carolina.
What about number 1 for the Panthers? We talked a lot about his inconsistency, Cam Newton's, all last year. What did the Cowboys defense have to do, not knowing exactly which Cam Newton is going to show up, to stop him this week? Well,
we know with Norv Turner that they're going to do some different things that they've done in Carolina in the past. And talking to people in Carolina, the demands that Norv has put on them, Cam has accepted them and has improved in the spring and in the summer as a quarterback. But he's got to realize he's going against a great defense that people aren't saying is great yet, because they'll come to the party soon. After a month of football, people will be like, wow, that Dallas Cowboys, man, that defense is really, really underrated. So Cam has to know that. They're going to pick out certain things that he likes to do. Norv likes to run the ball and throw the ball deep down the field with play-action pass. Both of those Cam is pretty good at. So that's how I expect them to attack Dallas, because in play action, you have a more sound pass protection, because let's not forget, Cam's missing his left tackle, Matt Khalil, for at least the first 6 games on injured reserve. All right, he got hurt in the preseason. They traded for an offensive lineman. Now, when you trade for an offensive lineman, there's not a lot of good offensive linemen out there being traded. So be where I'm concerned about Cam's ability to be able to get time in the pocket, to create a clean pocket, because we have seen veteran quarterbacks. Matty Ice, this will be his second time. When they transfer offensive coordinators, sometimes it takes a little growing period. So Cam is still growing as a quarterback, and him and Norv Turner will get better as the season goes on.
And listen, the Panthers' offensive line is a real concern, but the reality is, as has been the case with Carolina since Cam got there, if Cam plays well, they don't lose. In his career, if he has a quarterback rating of at least 100, they are 25-2. Here are the full list of quarterbacks in NFL history who win at least 90% of their games with a quarterback rating of 100. Rodgers, Manning, Brady, Cam. Those teams are unbeatable when their quarterback plays well. If Cam plays well, they win. So, to me, the question is, how can the Panthers win if Cam doesn't have that game? Because if he does have that game, they don't lose. They've always had good defenses when he's been there. He's always added value through the running game, which doesn't get shown in that quarterback rating stat. So how can they win if Cam doesn't play well? Let's see if Christian McCaffrey can be the back they're talking about this offseason and the back that they drafted him to be.
Yes.
They didn't draft him to be a slot receiver. They drafted him to be a running back who can also come out of the backfield and catch passes. They drafted him to be what Alvin Kamara was in New Orleans last year. They're talking about giving him 15 to 18
Didn't Ron Rivera
carries.
want to give him how many touches?
Right,
do you want to give him a game?
25 plus touches a game. Okay, that's high for anybody. But let's see if Christian McCaffrey can run between the tackles against, and I fully agree with Chris about this. By week 4, people are going to be saying, wow, do the Cowboys have one of the strongest front sevens in football? Now, everyone's talking about Dak and the wide receivers. People will get to that party at some point. Can the Panthers create offense if Cam isn't good? Because if Cam is good, they're not going to lose this game.
All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.